Hello exiles. In today's video I will go over my final thoughts on my Molten Blast Totem build. The good and bad as well as how to upgrade it more with additional currency and thoughts I was trying to do with it but was not really going to make sense of it or felt not worthy enough. Before I start, I want to give a big thank you to you all for the positive feedback on my build and latest videos. I really appreciate it. I'm now trying some new stuff out and will keep the content going, to show you some useful non-meta builds. Like my Molten Blast Totem build, I will post my new stuff on the forum as well as new videos in the weeks ahead, so be prepared. This video is categorized in 5 topics. First one is leveling. Second one is Clearspeed and single target. For my third topic we go over the tankiness of this build. Next I go over the Endgame Upgrades. Finally the last topic is my thought on how good are the Endgame Mechanics as a Molten Blast Totem build. I actually did not level with totems at the beginning. I swapped over from my slow Volcanic Fissure skill to Ancestral Warrior Totem in maps, since I got destroyed as a slam build. To get used to our totem playstyle I would go for Shockwave Totem. Skill the usual totem nodes and strength nodes on the way till you are level 52 and got 1 or 2 plus levels on your weapons, since levels boost your damage a lot. If you got both, you can buy your Ancestral Warrior Totem. At this stage you already got some totem attack speed nodes in your passive tree and probably got your currency to use it as a 4 or 5 link. Definitely use the support gem, Scattershot, and Martial Tempo as your first supports. With Shockwave Totem at the start it should be a smooth leveling experience. If this is not your first character you probably can afford some leveling uniques. Good leveling uniques are Gold Rim for elemental resistance, Ghost Writhe for some good amount of ES and chaos resistance till you get your helmet. As well as Wanderlust and Sure-Footed Sigil for more mobility. If you got Astramentis, you can actually save some talent points at the beginning with the combination of the gloves, Treefingers, to get your Giant's Blood early on. I did not test this combination if it's worth or not. Just a thought of mine to try it out if you can. Let's go over to my second point. Clearspeed and single target damage. As for Clearspeed you cannot compare it with the meta Spark build or something like that. It is still a totem build overall. I think it is a really solid Clearspeed. You have a huge AoE that often outscreen kills enemies, since it shatters after landing. You can easily clear fast expedition, rituals and essence monsters, since you can prepare for to kill them if they spawn. This feels really amazing. If you find yourself to have a low amount of totem placement speed, it will feel awful. It's actually mandatory to skill some points in it. If you don't, you will die a lot, and I mean a lot. Overall I would rank the Clearspeed a solid 7 out of 10. Single target next. This one is one of the stronger points with my build. With only a budget build you prepare your 3 totems and place your flame wall, if you use it, and you will destroy the bosses in under 8 seconds. With higher investment it is legit possible to just one-shot them. I kill, with my roughly 10 Divine Orb setup, T15 bosses with an extra difficult of 3 and the Deadly Evolution mod on the Atlas tree in like 2 to 4 seconds. I have to say, I'm not tried the highest difficulty endgame bosses with this build. But it will work for sure. Overall for single target, a good 9 out of 10. At the beginning, I just focused on health stacking and armor. For T1 till T14 maps it will easily be enough. After you start farming your T15 maps and higher, it quickly becomes frustrating. In higher maps, health stacking and armor is completely useless. I don't know why armor is so bad, but it feels awful. You really need another defensive layer. In my update video for my build, I talk about the unique helmet at Series Disdain. With this, you gain up to 30% of your life as extra energy shield. This with the energy shield and armor nodes makes it way more tanky than before. I played a good amount with this combination and sometimes die, of course. That's the nature of softcore. But way less than without energy shield. It kinda feels too good to invest in these energy shield talent tree nodes. If you can get your chaos resistance cap, it feels really tanky. I stuck with the usual auras in my Maxroll link, but if you can somehow manage the int requirement of Grim Feast, this could be amazing with the overflow of energy shield. Overall I think we are tanky but not AFK tanky, you have to keep an eye on your movement. We still have a lot of stuff to upgrade, after you got your budget setup set. You can start by min-max your weapons to get the highest levels you can on it and a high, elemental damage with attack skills, prefix and high strength suffix. Next I would focus on your gloves and amulet to get the highest levels as well as high strength on it. On the amulet, you can play around with spirit to get another aura to boost your character. Next endgame upgrade are level 20 skill gems. These are rare and hard to get, or you buy it on the trade site for a good amount of divine orbs. But be aware, don't buy one that has level 20 corrupt with no quality on it. Ancestral Warrior Totem gains totem duration, which is a good quality of life, and Molten Blast gives us our 30% fire exposure on hit. And of course the endgame uniques. I show some ideas to get if you can make use of it. First is the Jewel, Prism of Believe, which grants up to 3 levels of our skill gem. Look for Ancestral Warrior Totem. Next, the Jewel, Against the Darkness, with the Spirit and the increased strength modifier. Of course, some other uniques could be strong, but I would focus on Jewels first. You see, we can go even further and probably even more that I'm not thinking of it right now. But that's some ideas if you don't know what to focus next. Let's talk about the actual content GGG gives us in the endgame. Which ones are my favorite and which I don't like to run with my totem build. I don't take the rewards into it, just how it feels. Let's talk about Expedition. I really enjoy playing Expedition. It is really simple and easy to run. Place your totems and hit the explosive. They will die so fast, you can't actually see it through the smoke. For logbooks, it's almost the same. You will place your totems on the end of your screen to kill the enemies you cannot see. It's safe and easy, since you placed your way, you know where they spawn next. Next up, Ritual. Ritual is probably one of the most one I have played so far. Overall, it's really easy to do this content, since you prepare it like Expedition. But with no chaos resistance, it can be deadly. Ritual has an annoying altar for us which deals chaos damage. Skills that have a high visual effects have struggles on this altar. The altar with the plants on the edge of the fight area. They will spawn purple balls which will follow you and explode. With Molten Blast, it's sometimes really hard to see them, and you can quickly instant die on it if you are not paying attention. Next up, Breach. It's fun and deadly. These monsters can rip us apart since they spawn fast, are quick and are many. Most of the time you will have a good run, but the beginning can be hard. As I said, they spawn fast, which can be annoying if your totems are not hitting in the direction, since they spawn all around you. If you get past the beginning and focus on a direction, it's really easy and enjoyable. Place your totems a bit further ahead and you have a great time. Next up is Delirium. And man, I hate the way it plays in Path of Exile too. I don't know why, but it feels not fun. First, let's talk about Delirium in maps. Enemies most of the time spawn in your face or are in the shattered mirror you need to go near to spawn the enemies. You always have to replace your totems, which will of course drain your life, since we have such a high skill gem level. Either the totem miss one enemy, because they shoot in the wrong direction, or you have to roll instead of placing it because you could be dying. Not fun at all. For the Simulacrum map. I tried it 3 times. I'm not sure why, but I never finished it. They spawn so fast and hit you really hard, maybe my defensive is not the best for it or I'm not playing this content as good as I should. It felt really terrible. Sanctum. I make it quick. Easy, fun and time-consuming. No problems at all, if you don't have the most unlucky run ever. Last one is Ultimatum. Same goes like Sanctum. If you don't have the unluckiest mods, you have an easy time. No problems at all, just don't take less recovery rate or less defenses and you are good to go. Overall, this is my top to bottom ranking for the most enjoyable content in the endgame with Molten Blast Totem for me. That's it for my final thoughts on playing Ancestral Warrior Totem with Molten Blast on it. I really had a great time with this build and hope this video helps you find out if it's the right fit for you. Overall, I'm happy with it, and you can use this build to get all the endgame done. I try to answer as many questions as possible. I'm currently trying some new ideas out and will update you guys with another build showcase, when it works out. Thanks a lot and stay tuned for more videos to come.